Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today's video is brought to you by the United Kingdom. Ho ho! How do you think an entire country sponsored me? Well, let me get right to the brass tacks. Today's video is brought more specifically by the National Crime Agency, UK Police, and whatnot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all right, I have this spontaneous allergic reaction to bullshit, and I've been throwing up the entire time. Now, the UK police, even though they don't want to admit it, effectively released a poster for what is on a child's computer. Ho ho! When you get those kids involved, you know, shit's about to go down. Now, it came with a bunch of software that, if you have this software on your computer, you might be one of those dirty, filthy, not true and honest computer hackers. Now, you know, we cover malware all the time, but I'm actually a defender of penetration testing and computer hacking. I believe that it's a great skill set to have, especially in today's world. And my ass gets a little chapped. You know, I get a little bit of that stretch goatsiness in my butthole when I see complete BS offered on top of something that I am passionate about. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the software that's bad. All right, if this is on little Billy's computer, you might be needing a little spanking. Browser used to access the dark web. Tor? Ho ho ho! You're accessing the dark web, bro. You must be buying stuff off the Silk Road. Ooh, you must be hiring Agent 47 to take care of somebody. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've spent a fair bit of time on the dark web. You know, maybe not recently, but we'll get back to it. But one of the things that I've always found weird is when everyone always talks about the dark web like it's super evil. I've seen worse stuff on the clear web, Facebook, Twitter. Dude, did we not just talk about megalinks a couple days ago? Yeah, that was on the clear web. The dark web, don't get me wrong, it has its bad stuff on it too, like, ooh, the places where you can buy dope. But ladies and gentlemen, let's just be honest about it. Half the stuff that you've seen on deep web browsing has been funny and harmless. How many actual hitman websites have we found on the dark web? I can count it on a one hand. Zero! Zero, not zero. That's a bad symbol, dude. I'm gonna get demonetized for that shit. That's for damn sure. But there has been nothing on the dark web, you know, really that I found to be worse. In fact, I think probably the worst thing I found is a mirror of Bloatfly Girl, which don't just look that up, especially if you're eating. Oh god, that bitch is nasty. You know, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing on Little Billy's computer, because it's a browser that's used to help anonymity, especially in today's surveillance state. You know, the Tor browser has many good uses, like journalists in very risque parts of the world trying to post the truth, especially when they know their lives are on the line. Or people who just don't want to be watched by the creepy dude of the NSA. You know, there's a lot of benefits to it, and I think for the UK to be slamming it like this, a little sad. Virtual machines can hide operating systems not normally found on the computer, like Kali Linux, which we'll get to in a bit. You know, virtual machines are not an inherently evil tool. You know, as the sun comes up, Muda must remind you, virtual machines are used by a lot of enterprises. You know, Google Stadia? You know, that dumpster fire? Yeah, that's virtual machines right there. Whoo, is it evil? No, 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 no. You know, a lot of web services like Amazon Cloud, Microsoft Azure, yeah, they work off VMs like crazy. You know, I actually support virtual machines because if you're doing some sensitive stuff on your computer or you're trying out that shady program, having a sandboxed, isolated part of your computer is a lot safer than letting it run natively. Virtual machines, you know, VirtualBox isn't bad, okay? It's an Oracle-made product, just like VMware isn't bad. KVM ain't bad. You know, these are just tools that we use to better secure our computers. So it's a little outlandish that you're using it to say we're hiding operating systems. You know, yeah, you're running OSs on it. You don't necessarily have to have them hidden, but VMs are a great way for you to, you know, host files, host programs that you may not want to run on your system and just encrypt them and hide them somewhere else. Simple as that. There's nothing shady or disgusting about it. You shouldn't feel like a bad person for virtualizing stuff on your computer. Everyone should do it. Kali Linux is an operating system often used for hacking. Oh, this fucking poster. Now, I love the term hacking being used over here because it's not wrong, but you can see how it sounds a little inflammatory. Maybe the word penetrations testing should be used. Kali Linux, for those of you who don't know, is a Linux distribution that you run off of a USB. You could install it to your computer. I mean, the world is your oyster. And it comes with a whole suite of tools that can be used to hack computers or, again, penetrations testing. A lot of actual penetrations testers in the world have a USB of Kali Linux sitting with them right there, so they can have a whole suite of tools used to penetrate and test networks for their security. It used to be called Backtrack back in the day. It looked a little cooler too, you know, with that whole black and red interface, but that's a whole video for another time. Kali Linux is not terrible. Can it be used for nefarious purposes? Yes, it can. But what is it at the end of the day? A fucking toolkit used to test networks. You know, that's really all it is. You know, I'd rather have Lil Billy fuck around with Kali Linux than something actually terrible. Wi-Fi Pineapple is a bit of kit that can be used to capture sensitive data. Okay, so this is bullshit, okay? First of all, Wi-Fi Pineapple is like $200 minimum for you to go get. It's basically an actual like Wi-Fi like router type deal that you carry around, and it comes with a whole suite of tools that can be used to capture sensitive information, of course, over wireless networks. It's actually used to test wireless networks, or actually test for vulnerabilities in Wi-Fi, which is a big deal, might I add. You know, ladies and gentlemen, Wi-Fi Pineapples, you can get like a Raspberry Pi and DIY one of these things yourself together, because at the end of the day, whatever's on Kali Linux like Aircrack NG is what Wi-Fi Pineapple's doing anyways. You don't need a $200 kit to do it. You can do it with software yourself, which is probably what you should do if you're learning it, and then buy this because it's just a convenience tool. And I doubt Lil Billy's gonna have the cash, well, you know, to scrape around and get a Wi-Fi Pineapple. And even if they get a Wi-Fi Pineapple, they're still going to need the intellect to use it appropriately. You know, this is an actual tool that is used in penetrations testing. Can it be used to capture sensitive data over the internet? Which is kind of bullshit. I mean, it's for local unsecured public Wi-Fi networks, not necessarily the big bad evil internet. But hey, chalk it up to the UK police for fucking throwing four curveballs right at us. Discord is a popular... I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, this is funny to me because Discord, I've probably seen more memes and like bullshit on Discord than I've seen actual hacking tips being tossed around. I'm sure you go to like a hacking Discord, you'll get more of that flair to you, but I can't take it seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, Discord is a social media tool. You know, if you're going to toss Discord under the bus, you might as well toss Skype, fucking Twitch, Curse Messenger, TeamSpeak, maybe a little bit of that Boomer Book, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Guys, what are we doing here? Have we hit rock bottom? All right, it's a fucking communication tool. All right, it's not just used to share those hacking tips. Metasploit is penetration software that makes hacking simple. Bullshit. Now, Metasploit, for those of you who don't know, is a framework that basically catalogs known vulnerabilities, hundreds of them, against Windows, Mac OS X, Linux. And it's basically used by, again, penetration testers to basically test a network to see how many open vulnerabilities that they have. Does it make hacking simple? I guess, yeah, it should kind of make hacking somewhat simple. But I think they're kind of bullshitting it a little bit, because you still need a level of intellect to use Metasploit to its full potential. And ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you again that it's penetration testing software. If you're using Metasploit, you're basically testing your network to see if there's any open gaps, you know? And if there aren't any open gaps, then you're pretty airtight. That's just what it comes down to. Unless you got some 0 days to deal with, which everyone has to deal with those, Metasploit is used to test networks and test computer systems to make sure that, you know, you keep them as airtight as possible. Not to make hacking quote-unquote simple, okay? This isn't a video game for people, okay? You don't just type in hack IP address. No. It's not as simple as that, you know, cyber police, but I appreciate the bullshit being tossed around. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say before I end this video off, this is kind of like a Glock. You know, I could load up a Glock right now, you know, fucking slide it back, make sure one is in the chamber, and I can put it down on the desk right here. And that Glock ain't gonna do jack shit to anybody. But if a bad person gets involved in the situation, guess what? That Glock can be used to hurt individuals. Computer hacking is like a Glock. It's a set of tools. It's a tool. It's an object. It's an idea. And it takes a bad person to use the idea to nefarious purposes. But it can also take a good person to use that idea to protect others. You know, Lil Billy could be doing way worse than learning computer hacking. You know, the scary part about this is that we're slowly headed towards this dystopian, like, cyberpunk fucking future. And I know I sound like a conspiracy nut when I say it, but I'm not kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world, we're slowly headed to it, where people are going to run surveillance on us every day. And they're scared. that people are slowly learning how to defend themselves and make sure that they can run things on themselves. They can secure themselves with, and they can utilize software that'll prevent these agencies from constantly spying on every single thing that you're doing. You know, the NSA is nice and all, and they'll always tell you to use something that they always have a backdoor in. But then they'll conveniently use all the software in the world to protect anybody from backdooring into them. Which is why I say this. In today's day and age, use the tools that these agencies use to protect yourself from these people out there. Now, I'm going to say this right out there just too. I'm on a personal standpoint over here. Computer hacking is okay. It's ethical. You know, learning it is fine. The tools that bad people use, the tools that bad people exist, you know, computer hacking can be used for bad purposes. I'm not denying that. But to outright and demonize it and make people scared of it like this is just offensive. You know, whoever wrote this should just fucking go back to handing out parking infractions in Piccadilly Circus and call it a day. Because at the end of the day, I'm totally okay with the future generation learning all these tools. And not just learning these tools, but almost mastering them. Because we live in a day where data is so easily stolen by anybody out there. By knowing very simple tricks, you can make yourself safe and save yourself a whole headache of pain going forward in your life. So you know what? Rise up. You know, learn how to protect yourself, learn how you could possibly hack the Gibson, and call it a day, okay? Don't fall for this nonsense out here, dude. And honestly, whoever in the UK Metropolitan Police or whatever service they have out there did this should probably take a long look at themselves and say, wow, I just did a big dumb. Now, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar. Now that I've finally fucking goatseed the UK police hard enough, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.